Well, we were able to keep him here, Poppy. He tried to get out of the seat KG, the legend of Dead Set Legends at Triple M.
It's going to cost you plenty too.
Yeah, no doubt. There's going to be something that's for me.
Get the hand in the skyrocket.
Now, before we, last week we went to the break, we got your footballers out of the way, but we're talking about great captains.
Yeah.
You mentioned Favell, we talked about Bradman, we talked about Chappell.
Yep.
David Hooks.
Yeah. Oh, look, he was a terrific captain, David Hooks, but that's one of the saddest moments I think I've ever experienced in my lifetime, sport-wise. Mm-hmm. The fact that the way that David passed away was an absolute tragedy. You know, that was he had so much to offer. He was not only a great captain, a great player, he was a terrific coach. He was different, and that was made him so good. And to think that it happened the way that it happened was just unbelievable. I can recall getting a phone call. I was on holidays at the time from Paul Bartlett at Double A saying that David was seriously ill. I said, well, what's happened? And he explained to me that there'd been an altercation, and he told me then that Hooksy wouldn't
These
make
days,
it.
that one-hit thing has become a little bit more prevalent in society. But at that time, the association between you was so strong because it did start decades before in cricket, but it grew into a professional relationship for a long time.
Well, it did. Like, I can recall playing against David Hooks when he played his first A-grade game of cricket against me. He was playing for West Torrens, I was playing for Adelaide. And there's all this publicity about this young man, David Hooks, how great he was going to be. And I said to my players, look, when he comes out to bat, I'm going to bowl, let me handle him. I'll handle this young kid. So he's come out to bat, and I've come on to bowl, you know, being a big head, smart, so and so. So I've come on, I've put a couple past the outside edge, and I've walked down the wicket and said, listen, son, you're with the big boys now. You're with the big boys. You're with the big boys.
KG,
you were saying this,
so you're with the big boys now. So I've gone back, come in again, and gone, poof. I think he's gone. He smashed it straight through the cover. It's gone like a rocket. Yes. He's walked down the wicket, tapping his bat, and he said to me, listen, old man, he said, if you bowl that crap again, he said, it won't go into the fence, it'll bloody go over the top. Welcome, David.
And decade later, you're working together.
Working together. He worked with me on KG's Footy Show on television. He worked with me at DN, then on Double A. Look, I had, you know, you have an association with people, but that was a special association, and to think that he went the way that he did was at 49 years of age was terrible.
Tragedy.
Absolute
what
tragedy.
made him special?
Well, Hooksy was a very confident person. He believed that he could do most things, and he was very aggressive in his approach to his work and wanted to succeed. He had a great hunger for that, which I loved. That he wanted to do well, whether it be cricket, television or radio. He wanted to succeed. He wanted to get on. He wanted to go to the biggest stage in Victoria, which he eventually did. And you know, he was ambitious, but in a fair and strong way. And I love the man.
Well, Hooksy was a good mate of mine. He wasn't too bad on the lip, on or off the field, was he?
He was unbelievable on the lip.
He was pretty good on the lip. I want to ask you about Neil Curley. You've got a great friendship with Neil Curley. Now,
I have.
Not a lot of footballers have been able to knock an umpire out. Can you take us through how Curls managed to do that without getting reported?
Yeah, he did. It was in 1963. I remember it vividly. It's in his book. And it was the South Sturt prelim final at the Adelaide Oval. Keeping in mind in 63, South had finished bottom of the premiership table, the SNFL. 64, Neil Curley, first year as captain coach, and he'd done a wonderful job to get them to the prelim final. And this was a horrible day weather-wise, raining and carrying on. Anyway, the entire first half, Curls in his custom way was running behind me trying to umpire the game, and I said to him in half-time, listen, Curls, for Christ's sake, shut up. You coach, I'll umpire. I've had enough. I'm having a bad day, enough is enough. So we'll come back after half-time, and it's pouring with rain. Halbert's kicked the first goal after half-time, stirred her about 5 in front, looked like winning the prelim final. So the ball's come back to the middle, I've thrown it up. Ian Day's got the crumbs and kicked a wobbly mongrel punt kick down towards the Donald Bradman end, and I'm out of position, so I put the head down, bum up, made a beeline for where the ball is, with about 8 or 9, 10 players around the ball, about to blow the whistle to call up the scrimmage, and bang! Down I've gone. I had no idea what happened. No. Next thing I knew, I was being taken off the ground to take no further part in the game. But what happened there? I had no idea.
What happened?
Well, I had no idea. Anyway.
When you opened your eyes, DB wasn't over the top of your head. No, okay, good.
So anyway, South get up and win by 3 points. I had to pass the fitness test of the Wednesday,
to do the grand final.
Do the grand final.
No concussion test then.
No, pass the fitness test. And in those days, you used to inspect the players' rings and boots on the ground. So I've done Port Adelaide, Port and South grand final. Done Port, said to John Carl, good luck. And South Adelaide lined up and Curls was walking up and down, demanding this, demanding that. Here's for the last set of boots I would inspect. Yeah. And I've done the right one, put it down, done the left one, done that, and I walked up and said, good luck, Curls. And he's taken one step towards me. He said, don't worry about this bloody good luck bullshit. If you don't give us a go today, true story, I'll knock you out in the first quarter. He knocked me out. He says it's an accident.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was an accident.
No, it wasn't an accident. No.
I was fishing with him on the weekend and he clarified it wasn't an accident.
You mentioned just quickly some of the big names, and another one that you work with we should pay respects to is Cornsey. Cornsey's been an icon of this state for a long time, and he's a different cat compared to, say, David Hooks.
Well, you've taken the words out of my mouth. He's a different cat, but I won't have anything said against Cornsey. When I got the flick from AA, he was magnificent. Cornsey was a creature of habit. I can recall every day he'd have this roll, long roll with smoked salmon, cucumber, lettuce. Then he'd have a pasty. He'd take the top off the pasty, put a bit of sauce in it. He'd have one bite of the pasty and put it to one side. He'd eat the roll. Then he'd go to his drawer where he had a little bag full of 20-cent pieces. And every day he'd take 6 20-cent pieces. He'd walk into the kitchen. You know those lolly machines. Charity.
Yes.
He'd walk
for charity.
Charity. He'd walk into the kitchen. He'd put 20 cents in. He'd turn it halfway around. Then he'd shake the living daylights out of the machine.
Get extra lollies.
Then he'd do the extra turn on lollies and go all over the bloody floor. Everybody say, Cornsey's in the kitchen getting some lollies. He did it every day.
Oh, that's hilarious.
With a drawer full of lollies. But he was fantastic. I can recall when I was told by AA that I wouldn't be giving a further contract. Cornsey had come in and heard that I was going to be given the flick. And he sat down where you are, Phil, the boss was there, I was here, and he said, can this be reversed? And the boss said, no, we're going to be doing this and doing that. And he said, well, and he stood up, and I'll never forget it, he stood up and he said, look, if I didn't have to put through a little girl through Emmanuel College, I'll be saying to you, if he goes, I bloody go too. I've never forgotten him for that. Mate, it was fantastic to me.
Yeah. Go through the list of people that you just over the top of your head. You go. You've worked with Hooksy. You've worked with Cornsey. So a couple of big names, and then you've had to work with Jarman.
Yeah.
Well, the standard drops and you're still going. I mean, Jars is a great bloke.
You go around in a circle.
You know you're on the way out when you start working with Jars, aren't you?
You never know what you're going to get with Jars. Never know what you're going to get.
All intelligent men. Does Jars fall in that category?
How do I answer that?
I think you answer it. I don't want to touch it.
I mean, he's a
very intelligent man.
Yes.
When it comes
what Kate said.
When it comes to footy, ask him about politics and he goes, nobody idea.
Next year is 49 years on radio.
No, 40
years on radio.
40 years radio, 49
on TV. Yeah. At the start, there was an article written, and you would turn us off here, that you wouldn't last 2 weeks.
Well, when I was first appointed in 1977 to the DN Drive program.
They had radio then, did they?
They had radio. Yeah, Barronara days, yeah. And I can recall, I said to my late wife, said, it was beautiful, I said, Sam, at the time, I said, look, I'm going to be unemployed very shortly, Sam. So you just start looking for a job, love, will you, for goodness sake? And I can remember reading the TV radio guide in those days. And this lady, I can't remember her name, wrote the article on the front page about the fact that I'd been appointed to the Drive program on 5DN, and she said, if I was a betting person, and I am, I would like to put money on the fact that this won't last 2 surveys.
Wow.
So, and I agreed with her.
It's been great.
Positive as always.
I said I'd be lucky to last one.
It's been a great career.
2 would be a bonus. So I've been blessed.
We need to get to a break. The great KG was our special guest. Stay with us, plenty to come.